yes, I'm so glad we get to do a makeup show.
Oh, yeah.
Originally, I was on the fence about it, but now I'm off the fence
Yeah, now we're doing it.
officially. How's the audio? How's the audio today? I do hear something.
You hear something.
I hear like a small. It's not a big deal. We can get over it.
Is it my breathing?
Well, let me put it to you this way, okay? If all I had to hear was just you breathing, then we'd know that you were alive.
That's very true.
And that's not bad news.
No.
Welcome to another edition, a special Friday edition of our music news, technology, and social media show. It's William versus the World.
Woo!
Yeah, and it's usually on Wednesdays, but we're winding down. This is actually, we're going to be changing podcasts pretty soon. We have a new podcast coming out, which means we have to retire William versus the World. But for now, we're going to keep the show going. My first article today is OpenAI can stop pretending now.
Pretending what?
So the company is great at getting what it wants, whether or not it's beholden to a non-profit mission. Okay, let me explain further. OpenAI is a strange company for strange times, valued at $300 billion, roughly the same as 7 Fords or 1.5 Pepsi Co's. That's a lot of business.
Yeah.
The AI startup has an era-defining product in ChatGPT. But you know this already, right, Lex?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's racing to be the first to build super intelligent machines. Has everybody been able to stay on topic? Most people forgot what we're even doing with the AI thing.
Yeah, they have.
So I'm trying to get everybody up to date. The company also, to the apparent frustration, its CEO, Sam, beholden to its non-profit status.
Okay.
Are you getting this?
I never knew this was a nonprofit.
Would you want me to repeat this whole thing?
I did not know this was a nonprofit.
Okay. So I mean that's the deal here. So when OpenAI was founded in 2015, it was meant to be a research lab that would work toward the goal of AI that is safe and benefits all of humanity, that kind of AI. There wasn't supposed to be any pressure or desire really to make money. Later in 2019, OpenAI created a for-profit subsidiary to better attract investors, the types of people who might otherwise turn to the less scrupulous corporations that dot Silicon Valley. But even then, that part of the organization was under the non-profit side of control. And at the time, it had released no consumer products and capped how much money its investors could make. Are you listening to this bullshit?
Yeah. This sounds like a fucking mess.
ChatGPT, OpenAI's leadership had intended for the bot to provide insight into how people would use AI without any particular hope for widespread adoption.
It sounds like they wanted to force this idea upon people. And in order to do that and to get the investors that they needed to launch this, I guess.
It's crowdsourcing.
Yeah.
Crowdfunding. But don't you find that annoying that they created a non-profit company as an intellectual laboratory for everybody to share ideas, only to then pull strings and make money with it anyway. It's the same thing. Like, it's the only reason why I'm covering it. It's the same kind of idea that Facebook had at one time. Facebook's free and it always will be, until we charge you $1 billion in ads.
It seems to be the new corporate business model here in America. And it's really
this is what
old.
I was going to say, it's not new. It's old.
Super old. Like, this is the oldest trick.
It's basically hiding everything and then pretending you're coming out with new shit.
But not coming out with new shit.
If you can hide, if you could just hide the current technology that we have from a generation or two, you could just pop out with young people and pretend that you invented the radio. All you have to do, all you have to do is hide Nintendo and video games and the technology of gaming for 30, 40, 50 years and then pop out with it and pretend like you made it up all over again. It's an invention. Everybody will go for it. You know what I mean? It's free.
This is so stupid.
No, and nobody will trust it, and everybody will talk poorly about it, right? And everybody will be on the fence about it because everyone's fucking paranoid of being taken advantage of. So you say to everybody, no, it's free. There's no harm in that.
Is it like they're expecting us to continue not to fact check them?
The internet is free. Social media is free. AI is free. There's no harm in that. This technology, we're not going to charge you anything. It's not like you're going to lose anything. Come on, put your kids' photos on here. Tell us everything about you. Open up your homes to us.
It's just criminal as fuck.
But it's free. And as long as it's free, it's got to be fun and safe.
Using AI is not.
So the point I'm trying to make is they did that with social media too. What they're doing with that last story is it's basically like saying like, we don't got enough people to get this thing going, and everyone's paranoid and would never use it unless it was free. We can't come out the box and charge anybody for this shit because you might question us if it's harmful or not. So the only way that we could take advantage of you and your impulses is tell a bunch of desperate fucking people that it's for free. How else are you going to get people to come to the show? They ain't going to buy a ticket.
But here's the thing, though. But here's the catch, though, with that. Because it started off being free. But now when you use it for about 15 minutes, it's going to start charging you.
Okay, but that's the same thing as Spotify moving the needle on subscription prices all the time without offering new technology. You claim that you're just shape-shifting technology. You're saying that at one, and the attention is originally for Spotify to listen to music. So that's why everybody signs up for it. But hold on. But if you look at now, it's not about really listening to music. It's like fucking audiobooks and podcasts and fucking who knows what else they're going to do with it. Even YouTube has gaming. You scroll on YouTube, there's
and after a while, you hit an advertisement for a paywall so you can get rid of all those free advertisements.
Everything's everything.
Yeah.
So
it's not really free is what I'm saying.
And it isn't anything. It's not free because it isn't one thing or another.
Yeah.
The Spotify can become the Bible.
Yeah.
It can become the Bible. If all of a sudden the Bible becomes priority, then streaming sites will stream the sermon.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah. I feel you.
It's the gadgets themselves can become they can perform, they can present any kind of media, any type of entertainment. If people all of a sudden want to be entertained by people walking over water and splitting a river again, that's all they got to do is pretend like it's new again.
Yeah. Like this AI, it's just a chatbot.
It's just really a chatbot. All right, dwindling ticket sales and cancellations. What's the big decline of music festivals? Are you guys ready? Of course not. 'Cause you You want to know why you're not? Because musicians watch this, and you guys don't like bad news. This show's not about bad news, guys. It's about the truth.
Yeah. The only thing I can offer you is the truth.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see here. It's hotter than I thought it was. That was only one article. All right. On the brink of what should be another exciting summer for festival season, dozens of music festivals are shutting down.
This is sad.
Yeah, I kind of want to do that over again.
You're trying to make us sound happy?
Yeah.
Okay.
On the brink of what should be another exciting summer festival season for all, dozens of music festivals are sadly shutting down.
A little bit more bright.
I'm trying.
It's hard with that sentence.
The trend, it's been simmering for years. The long-standing Pitchfork Music Festival in Chicago, it won't be returning this summer. Following similar announcements last year from Atlanta's Music Midtown and Kickoff Jam in Florida. Meanwhile, festivals like Jay-Z's Made in America Festival and Delaware's Firefly Music Festival haven't returned since 2022. Wouldn't you have it? I wouldn't. I wouldn't have it. And neither would they, because they're done with it. This year, more than 40 fucking festivals have already been canceled, according to one count. These cancellations aren't the only signs that something is awry in the festival scene. For the second year in a row, tickets to Coachella, the preeminent festival in California, desert that once sold out within hours, remained available for months. So I guess Coachella is suffering too. Electric Forest, Michigan's notable electronic and jam band festival, also has seen a slowdown in sales, igniting more concern over the landscape overall. Some blame the spate of cancellations on changing tastes, or others point to the lack of curiosity from the younger generations. Why pay to see a bunch of acts you have never heard of? And of course, there's a general belt tightening overall because people are tight on the bread. Either way, the result is the same, everyone. Music festivals were once on the cutting edge. Events were the music vibe and felt fresh and unique to us all. But taken together, the declining ticket sales and cancellations paint a struggling picture of the festival industry overall this year, and as other areas of live music thrive. Why do you think, Lex? Do you have anything to add to that? It's quiet out there.
It's sad that festival season is experiencing the effects of what's going on in the world, because one of the names of the festivals that you mentioned that are either not coming back or whatever is the Firefly Festival.
Yeah. Do you like that? Is that something
that sounds so cool?
Or do you just like fireflies?
The name of it sounds really cool. I do like fireflies, but the name though, Firefly Festival, Firefly Music Festival.
So you like the branding and banner, but do you even know what the hell it is? It could be terrible. What if they?
It could be.
Okay.
I mean,
there's other festivals that have been canceled.
Yeah.
Like Blue Ridge. That's good.
That is good.
See? So what's so bad about canceling shitty festivals?
That's true.
If they're overpriced,
it makes room for better festivals.
Right. If they're overpriced and people are unhappy and no one can afford a fucking cheeseburger. I mean, the only way to go to these festivals now is if you, romance scam and trick everybody into buying into these big bundles and VIP packages. It doesn't seem like people that just love music can't just go there and like music. There's all of this snake oil and hidden agendas and fine print. That's why people don't like festivals, because you got to sign your fucking life away. It's a $300,000 investment every year if you want to go to fucking Incarceration Fest.
Yeah, and also now that we're talking about it,
Even for the
thinking
bands.
about it, like a lot of the people that put on the festivals, it's terrible business.
Like the bands? Like all of us that go broke?
Like the reason, like how to get those bands on there is terrible business.
Yep.
The days of the festival
Everybody's-
are terrible
everybody's-
business. I feel
everybody's-
like if you're gonna put on a festival,
Mhm.
it should be the artist putting on a festival, not some dude that's never really done
Well-
a festival before.
Well, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Because I feel like the artist would know how to handle like a music festival like that.
That and a lot of the experts have been taught the only way that you can do it is ripping people off.
Yeah, the artist wouldn't rip you off though.
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
That's true.
A
But I'm
lot-
just saying, like,
Some of the smallest independents are trying to climb the ladder to a version and image of success that takes advantage of everybody else. Come on, you know the American way. It's all about incremental gain and having more than your neighbor.
I also think that festivals are so new. There's not a lot of ethics in place of how to do it correctly.
Okay, you might be onto something there.
This seems
No
like
wrong
one of those
answers.
businesses need to have more ethics.
No wrong answers, but let's just start at the bottom. There's a lot of music festivals where the musicians don't get paid.
Yeah.
So that's not a music festival.
No.
What kind
That's
of
a scam.
music what kind of music festival doesn't pay the musicians correctly?
All of them.
Okay, then expect it to fail.
Yeah.
You can't be like we're having a festival or a benefit for the homeless and then we're not helping the homeless. How's that going to work out?
No, you're scamming people.
Right. So that's what it
Terrible
is.
business.
You can't say that we're having a music festival and we love musicians, but we're not going to pay them.
And you're going to scam everybody. Yeah,
Right.
no. And then make it dangerous for everyone.
Right,
But yeah, that's what I mean by terrible business.
It's the festivals are dangerous. They're unpredictable. No one can predict the weather. Our success models and our algorithmic dream world now all depends on rich boys making predictions with machines about how rich they're going to be after the show. No one gives a fuck about who is downstage center. The live music climate now is not based on physical bodies in the door. If that were the case, the venues and the fucking bartenders would bring audience members and draw of their own.
Yeah.
The modern music live entertainment model is based on pre-sale tickets and cell phone fucking apps and scalpers.
Yeah.
So
Barely anything.
people are more, so it's not a music festival. It's a cell phone, play around with fucking ticket sales, monopoly fucking festival.
Yeah, it's like some casino.
Yes, flea markets, selling t-shirts and hats and fucking stealing from fucking people. A music festival, you'd pay the musicians. In the current modern music festival method, many of the musicians don't get paid. So we can't classify it as a music festival anymore.
It's literally just a scam.
The modern model is pre-sale tickets, where the musician cares about physical bodies in the field. The musician cares about physical bodies coming up to the merch table. The venue holders, the bartenders, the asshole in the field doesn't give a shit. They care about pre-sale tickets and making the bank happy, making the apps happy.
Yeah. Some scammy shit.
So now, whether it's a small local show or a massive festival, it has nothing to do with music. It has to do with what people think is important, like demographics and metrics and algorithms, and people get that pre-sale ticket metric in their mind, and they forget about physical bodies in the door. The modern music live business model is based on how many people agree to pay for the show before they physically get there. So no longer do we have plans for when people get there.
No. I
We've
don't even think about the people being there at that time.
right. We've sacrificed a lot of what we used to care about people physically being in the building and creating a product around that and creating safety and conversations around the value of the people downstage that made it into the door. Now the priority is now the pre-sale ticket.
Hmm. And because the pre-sale ticket, they can never properly stock up with water.
The pre-sale ticket and the numbers and metrics that they use from pre and post pre-sale tickets is what they use to go back to their investors, to go back to the banks. They go back and use these metrics. Sometimes they inflate these symbols and these metrics, and that's what these businessmen use to go back and keep these festivals alive, not music.
No, just scamming and lying. That's why I said there needs to be more ethics.
I appreciate the emojis. I didn't know what the hell that was. I'm like, what is that? All right. We got to share this. So, have you heard of this thing called Palantir? This is a secret tech company behind Trump's data collection efforts. Listen to this. The administration reportedly wants a master database on every American, and they want Palantir to make it happen. Guys, I would have everybody, if you're listening to me right now, I don't care what you believe in or which side of the aisle or who you pray to at night, I would look up this company. It's a tech company called Palantir. The administration, the current administration, reportedly wants a master database on every American. And they want Palantir to make that happen. Google that, look that up. Palantir. Look that up. Last Friday, New York Times published an explosive report on the administration's work with a tech company called Palantir, which could result in the creation of a master database with information on every single American. If this type of master list was created, it would give any administration untold surveillance power. So this could be important for the rest of your life. Listen up. This would be enabling the current administration and any administration thereafter, the federal government, to share data on Americans across U.S. agencies. However, we know more about how this administration intends how to use it. Check it out. Tapped under the tech firm Palantir, co-founded by Peter Thiel, y'all know who he is, Peter Thiel, to carry out these efforts. The New York Times reported that this technology would make it possible to compile sensitive information from agencies like the Department of Homeland Security, Immigrations, Custom Enforcement, the Internal Revenue, that's right, the IRS, and various other government databases already include information on Americans, bank accounts, medical claims, disabilities, student debt amounts, and much, much more. Though not in one central place. Many of these agencies already have your information, but it's not all in one central place. They're looking to eliminate information silos and streamline all this data across one single agency to increase the efficiency and save hard taxpayers' money, they claim. However, the specter of a central database is a nightmare for privacy watchdogs, and that's why it's important, everybody. This presents itself, the company that's doing this presents itself as a data analytics company. It's called Palantir, and they call themselves a data analytics company. But it also has a reputation for being highly secretive about data mining and surveillance work, just like Spotify. Palantir has also been criticized for providing intelligence services to aid foreign armies, and also do all types of other criminal shit. So keep an eye on this, because this is a way, unfortunately, that we could all be put all of our information could be put in one area and make it easier for people to harm us quickly and more efficiently. Google it yourself, do your own homework, and stay vigilant. What do you think about this? One of the fans told us to cover this. Seether's Sean Morgan blasts venue security for kicking his 7-year-old daughter off stage. Okay.
What the heck?
Yeah, I don't know. During one of the Seether shows last week, the vocalist Sean blasted the venue security for kicking his 7-year-old daughter off the side of the stage and then changed the lyrics to Remedy to emphasize his frustration over the situation. The concert took place at the Hard Rock Hotel Casino in Tulsa. Toward the end of the night, Morgan apparently left the stage for a bit, but then came back and apologized and told the audience what happened. And he wasn't happy. I had my fucking kid on the stage. Isn't this guy like
I feel like he could have handled this a little bit more professionally.
I had my fucking kid on, this is what he said. I had my effing kid on the stage the whole time, the entire show, and then suddenly this effing guy kicks her off the stage. She's 7, and now she can't even go in front of the effing house and watch the show. Man, F you. Morgan's bandmates singled a thumbs down. I hope your private parts are super huge, bro, he said. I'll finish the song for you guys. F this place.
He could have handled this a little bit better than that, I feel. This is too emotionally charged. Like, you could have handled that a little bit better.
You know, I'm not trying to make fun of nobody, but I just remember, like, I thought Seether was you know what I mean? I thought they was a Christian band and they was into turning the other cheek and...
Oh, I know nothing about Seether.
Oh, I don't know. What do I know?
I have no clue. All I'm responding to is how he handled that. And to me, he could have handled that a little bit more professionally. That was way too emotionally charged. Like, I get it, like, that's your kid and stuff, but, like, you did not have to go that extra with it.
We came all this way. I mean, I don't know the rest of the details. Did they make her go sit in the car and everything else? I don't know.
Like, this is stuff that they could have discussed prior to
this shit's lagging.
Oh, the thing?
Yeah, I don't know why. This might be better. All right. I don't want to do this one. It's fucking boring. All right. Eminem publisher sues Facebook over widespread copyright infringement across Facebook and Instagram. Sound off.
What?
Eminem's publisher sues Meta over widespread copyright infringement across Facebook and Instagram. Eminem's publisher is suing Facebook for stealing music.
Good. Hope something.
That's what we cover on this. I mean, that's what we cover a lot on this program, is large tech companies and labels stealing music from people.
And getting sued.
Right. So when I bring it up as an independent, people tell me to stop crying about it. They say that I'm whining. People might say that I'm complaining. And hey, I'm up for criticism. I'm not even mad at that. If I'm whining and complaining about the music industry being unfair and stealing money from me, yes, I'm definitely complaining and whining about that. I've been complaining and whining about that for years. And I think that it is a good thing to complain about. And apparently, Eminem's publisher thinks so too. See, when I say it as an independent, and I say, hey man, the music industry, companies, legacy companies, labels, corporations, social media, they're all fucking stealing from us. Spotify stealing from us. Streaming organizations are stealing from us. When I say it, everybody goes, man, come on, you're just complaining, dude. I'm a big criminal. What if I say that Spotify's ripping us off? If I say my record label that I've been signed to for 5 years has been stealing the band's money. Everybody knows that our record label steals our money. because we've been reporting it for years. When I report that my record label has been stealing from me, people go, oh man, fuck you, just get a real job, dude. That's the response. So I like pointing out when Eminem's publisher sues Meta, nobody bats an eye.
It's about time, though, that other places other than Spotify, even though Spotify does this too,
Yeah.
it's good to see other places also be held accountable in the court of law, because other places besides Spotify do this, but they just like to do it behind closed doors. So it's really cool that, in my opinion, that
I just want
people like Eminem are
Mhm.
stepping up and being like, yo, you're stealing from me. I'm
Mhm.
taking you to court. Like, what the fuck?
and I just want people to know that it happens. That's the only
Yeah.
reason. So
You're
that,
not the only one
I-
that's
and-
going through it.
right, and if people want to be critical of me or my situation, I'm fine with that. Like I could take the feedback. I got thick skin. I don't even care one way or another. People can feel one way or another about the things that I say. But I'm providing knowledge, education, and wisdom. You know what I'm saying? In my field, you could choose. You could take it or leave it. You could take it from Eminem, or you could take it from me. But that's why I like to show that this happens at every layer and level of the industry. So people that are in independent bands and independent smaller artists, they don't have the illusion that when I get to the size of Eminem, I don't get ripped off. When I get to the size of, you know,
You get ripped off.
right.
Any size.
That's what I'm saying. But people think, when I make it to this success, when I'm, look at what happened to Puff Daddy, or look what happened to some of the friends that we know.
Mm-hmm.
They
Shit happens.
get to a certain level of success, and they go, man, I can't be touched, or I can't be taken advantage of, or I don't need a lawyer, or they get comfortable and they start committing crimes or doing silly shit.
Yeah. And then they start robbing you.
And then, right. So this is why I like to share that not only independent artists are vulnerable, and that if an independent artist blows the whistle and reports some sort of abuse or crime in the community in music, it's not that it's not that he's the best.
Complaining.
It's not that he's. You could call it a complaint. You know what I mean? Like when you go to court, for instance. That's why I was having trouble with the English. Eminem is suing Meta. When you go to court, okay, many people don't know this, but when you go to court, you have to file what they call a complaint. So when people tell me that I'm complaining about my own record label taking off the top, creating disadvantages, and stealing from other artists, I am complaining. Because it's the type of circumstance that would warrant a complaint, a legal complaint in a court of law.
Yeah, you're speaking out. You're being outspoken.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with doing that. Everyone in every
if you're working
part
at
of business does that.
I was going to say, if you're working at Walmart and they don't pay you a paycheck 3 times in a row, you should fill out a complaint with a court of law. If your record label isn't paying you, you have the right to file a complaint. So when people tell me that I'm complaining, essentially they're right.
But it needs to be spoken about because what they're doing is wrong.
I'm not going to be convinced myself that if somebody is physically abused, they shouldn't complain about it.
They should.
They should.
They should.
If you have been abused by someone, by me, you should file a complaint.
Yeah, you need to say something.
You should say something. If anybody, let me just say for the record, if anybody's harming you, if anybody's committing a crime on you, if anybody's chicken hawking you or strong arming you or assaulting you mentally, physically, you should 100% file a complaint. You heard it here first. Eminem's music publishing company has filed a lawsuit against Meta, alleging the tech company's social media platforms allow widespread use of the rapper's songs without paying them. I just want you to know that it happens on every level. Independent artists think that it only happens to them. They go, man, I'm just gonna take the punishment because this is how I'm gonna have to pay my dues. I'm gonna have to lay on my back because I gotta pay my dues to be a part of this fucking club.
And get robbed.
All right, we'll do one more because it's fucking hot. I can't believe we made it. I made it through this way. I really wanted to do that one. I really did. I really did. Legendary Facebook execs scoffs, says artificial intelligence could never be profitable if tech companies had to ask for their artists' consent to ingest their work. There you have it. There you really have it.
Mm-hmm.
Quoted here, I just don't know how you're going to go around asking everyone first. It's a plagiarism machine.
Oh, yeah.
Fresh off the heels from his exit from Meta, former Facebook executive Nick Clegg is defending artificial intelligence against copyright holders who want to hold the industry accountable. Do you see, guys? So when you go, people call me all the time and they're like, Will, should I get a copyright? Is it time for me to get my band trademarked? And I tell them, if you are following the law, yes. Yes, you should. If you feel like your music needs that much protection, your art needs that much protection, then I always say yes. If you can afford the protection, yes. But here, I'm just pointing out, like I've said a million times, that copyrights and trademarks are fucking useless. Just like a state driver's license is useless in Central America. When I went to Central America, the first thing I learned was that my driver's license and my state ID and the information that I had coming with me didn't mean shit. That was an illusion here on Front Street in America.
Yep.
That a driver's license, it hit me in the head. I go, wow, it just occurred to me, a driver's license doesn't make you a more skilled driver.
No.
It's just a product, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's just, remember like when the internet came out, everybody you had to have fucking McAfee and fucking Norton and fucking VPN and whatever. Like, look at all the VPNs and the ABCs and the EFGs that they got now.
1, 2, 3s.
Yeah, the 1, 2, 3s. Jesus. During a speech at the Charleston Festival in East Sussex, which is ironically enough meant to promote his new book, How to Save the Internet, Meta's former global affairs vice president initially said that it was not unreasonable that artists may want to opt out of having their creativity, their products, and what they've worked on indefinitely modeled. But he then went on to suggest that those same artists are getting greedy. He's quoted to say here, I think the creative community wants to go a step further, Clegg then charged. Quite a lot of voices say you can only train on my content if you ask. And I have to say that strikes me as somewhat implausible because these systems train on vast amounts of data. I just don't know how you can go around asking everyone first. I just want to show you. That's the mentality. That's it. This is what you know. That's
This
the only.
is wild.
That's why I show this, because when I say this, and when I say, "Hey, Meta's planning to steal your stuff," and they don't care about copyrights or trademarks, when I say that, people think that I'm like the majority of people online, and I'm just spewing out useless information to sound like an expert, depending on people not to fact check me, like everyone on the internet. When I say things on this program, some people believe that I am in a position where I'm hoping and predicting that people aren't going to fact check me or something. I'm fucking dying for people to fact check me. My band, my music, I don't give a fuck. That's the whole point of us doing this. The whole point of me being alive is to try to be as accurate as possible. That is burdensome if you don't fuck with me. That is burdensome if you think you're my op. That is burdensome for you. Because if I find a skeleton in my closet, I'm going to write a song about it. We're going to get vulnerable. That's how fearless I approach this thing. That's how much fucking fun I'm having. I did 17 years behind bars.
That's how serious you are.
The scariest people that I've ever feared in my life, I've fought physically and they died. They're already dead. Of course, I didn't kill them.
Right.
The scariest people that I've ever met in my life, I've already fought them physically.
Yeah.
So I'm living
Scared.
I'm living my life fully.
Right. You're not scared of none. Not scared of none.
I did 17. You know, when you do 17 years in prison, when you get out, there's one thing you promise yourself, is to never live a lie.
Authenticity.
I never live a lie. Because lies don't work good with lawyers.
No.
That's how I feel about this whole long arm of the law thing when it comes to the tech giants and everything else. I think that's why you see so much pressure now on Facebook. I think that's why you're going to see those companies. You may really see some of these companies broken up because of the result of this. It's an awful lot of power. For real.
Yeah.
I know I'm making jokes and we're talking and stuff like that, but that's why I say this, you know. It's a lot of power for one person to have.
Yeah.
Is it weird to be naked around your kids? It's a good question. Is it weird to be naked around your children? Come on, weigh in on it. It's just stuff we never talk about.
I'm trying to think.
An expectant parent has asked the internet masses whether they think being naked in front of your own children is weird. And it opened up a whole lot of conversations around nudity, children, and what's acceptable. How come we never talk about this shit?
We should.
Because we're too afraid.
Yeah.
Right? Is it
Try to
okay?
think about it.
Right. Is it okay to be naked in front of your kids? Everyone's like, what the fuck? Why is it such a... You're a parent. You've come all this way to be a parent, and you can't even answer this question.
This is the time for the parents to weigh in on the question.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you've come all your way to be an adult, and you were raised correctly, right? You can only look over your shoulder and be like, Mom, and then question her ability if she raised you right to answer this fucking question. Now, get it right. Is it okay for you to be naked around your kids? Yes or no? Okay, this is what the author said. In their household, privacy is limited. They can't take a shower without somebody barging in and singing Wheels on the Bus. Oh, I get it. You're taking a leak and the kid comes in.
Right.
Right.
I was going to say, it's okay as long as, like, you're not doing anything inappropriate.
I was going to say, for, like, big families, this is unavoidable. Like, if you're in, like, Black or Spanish families or big families,
you're going to catch your
we
mom
had a
naked in
big
the shower.
family. Right, I was going to say, if you, like, there's a lot of people that don't have the privilege to have big houses or have many bedrooms or different stuff like that. I'm saying to you, it's quite natural. Like at least I can only speak from like brown people, like in my home.
Yeah. I mean,
We didn't
I've
promote
showered together with my sister
Right,
and
like-
stuff growing
like
up
we
and
didn't
stuff.
we didn't like. What I'm saying is like I grew up in prisons and
Yeah.
institutions.
Yeah.
I grew up in poverty. I grew up in different places where you didn't have the luxury of choosing whether people saw you naked or not.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. This is a conversation for really privileged people,
Just sounds like, yeah.
because a lot of households that I circumstantially was able to observe, there wasn't room for you to not see people in their full regalia.
Yeah.
This person goes on to say, I'm not ashamed. They're not ashamed of their body, and they don't want their kids to grow up feeling ashamed around their bodies either. I agree with that.
Mhm.
I also personally think it's great for open up conversations with little kids around what your body parts are called and the functions are. What do you think about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good way to educate, teach people about the
What
body.
we have to really ask ourselves, this is where I go with it. At what point and where did we start to be scared of all of this?
Yeah.
And if we are scared about any of this, let's examine what parts of it we're afraid of.
Like, this is a
And
good source of information.
Let's challenge what we are afraid of before we just become afraid and react to that.
Yeah.
Most Redditors seem to think nudity is fine with one caveat. It's okay until someone, whether you or their kids, becomes uncomfortable. Damn, that's good.
That's
Can
the
we just
best
leave it
way to
there?
say it. Honestly, that's the best way to say it.
I feel like we should just leave it there.
Yeah. That's the best way to say it.
I tend to avoid it.
Right. Right.
Me, personally.
Yeah.
Even in prison, I tried to stay away from people.
Right.
For obvious reasons, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, Amazon might start using humanoid robots to deliver packages.
This doesn't surprise me.
The robots are going to fuck your mom. No, the robots will be riding in Rivian vans. I don't know what the fuck that is. So there's the robot. Everybody take a look.
What does
And-
Rivian mean?
Oh, Christ, I don't know.
I've never heard that word before.
We'll look it up.
Okay.
Amazon is working on software for humanoid robots that might one day deliver packages to customers' doorsteps.
This doesn't surprise me.
You know what doesn't surprise me is the fact that they said working on and someday, meaning
Right.
and confirming once again
This is magical
that we
thinking.
will not have African American robots that are going to fold your laundry for you. Sorry.
No.
Nope.
This is
No, we're not.
magical
No,
thinking
the only reason
bullshit.
why I'm reading this story about robots not coming to your broke ass household to do your chores for you is to remind middle class, lower class, privileged young families that you are not going to kick out immigrants, you are not going to kick out migrants, and then hire African American robots to do your dirty work.
That's never gonna happen.
As it says, Amazon is working on software for humanoid robots. But let's keep it real. They've been working on that forever.
Yeah.
No longer are African Americans and brown people going to be treated like fucking farm equipment. So guess what? The desire and the motivation for you guys wanting robots to do your dishes is just as sick.
Yeah. It is.
Why grow up to become an adult to hire robots and slaves to watch your children?
And live your life for you.
How is that the greatest sense of success? Why is the greatest sense of success is getting so much money where your wife can lay on her back and y'all can have a huge family where complete strangers and robots are your nannies and raising your children for you? What kind of fucking world are you going to live in if the greatest sense of success is all the robots get to live out all your achievements?
Sounds boring.
The idea is for humanoid robots to ride around in Rivian electronic vans. Rivian is an electronic vehicle company partially owned by Amazon. There you go.
Oh.
That answers your question. This is according to a new report by The Information, which claims the project will begin testing in Amazon facilities, promising that someday robotic slaves are going to live in your life and bring you shit.
This sounds like magical thinking.
No, but then why do they promote that work is why promote that work and working every day is successful and a good thing to do?
Just stab you in the back.
Why promote the idea that working 9 to 5 is a great idea if in the near future we're going to promote that robots and artificial machines are going to be in these places? So, are we supposed to work at the dish pit and do the dishes until the robots get here? The dishwasher's here, dude.
Yeah.
All the dishwashers in the fucking world, Lexi, and people still wash dishes, man.
Yeah. It's never going to go away.
All the police in the world, people still commit crimes.
Yeah. And get away with it.
Right. All the priests in churches in the world, people still fucking sin.
Yeah.
Right. It's not like, oh my God,
It's never going to go away.
everyone's sinning. You know what we're going to do? We're going to build more fucking churches.
That's just going to make more people sin.
So when people say that we need less rappers and we need more electricians, they're lying. Because people sin just like they have forever. And you don't see more reverends, deacons, and preachers.
Exactly.
See you guys next week on another episode of almost the end of the podcast of William versus the World. I'll do a big one before we
Okay.
the world.
Bye.
It's fucking hot in here, man. Jesus. We had to stop now.